And
Oh,
some more news. The Last
yeah.
of Us series has cast. It's Joel and it's Ellie.
Mm.
And the results may shock you, or you might just be like, okay. Or you may even say, that's not my Joel, but nobody cares because you have two whole games with Joel. Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian has been cast as Joel, and Bella Ramsey, who played Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones, that was the young head of the Mormont clan, is going to be Ellie. Now, are you done eating your burrito?
Yeah, I'm on to nachos now.
Okay. Put the nachos down for a second and tell me what you think about this casting.
So Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones was so cool. I love her. I love how she like
Hmm.
fucking killed that giant when he crushed her. She was like, "Fuck you." She
Yeah,
was so badass for this little girl, right? And
right,
I hope she can do a good American accent. I'm sure she can.
right.
She's an actor, but like, I'm excited to see what she'll do. Pedro Pascal was
Hmm.
in Game of Thrones too.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
Oberyn Martell.
Oberyn. Yep.
Yeah, he had his eyes gouged out by the mountain.
Yeah, and I saw that I was watching Double Toasted and they were like, "Why didn't they pick Jamie Lannister for Joel?" And I was like, "You know what? That actually he actually
Oh,
probably would fit that very well."
yeah, Pedro
He had
Pascal's
that
hot right now. You know, what I mean, like he's in
yeah,
everything. But
he's
he's
fucking
actually a great
money.
actor. But you're right. I
Yeah.
wonder Jamie Lannister actually wouldn't have been a bad Joel either.
Yeah, and like and I'm sure a lot of people are like, "You're making Joel Latino? This is ridiculous." But you're lucky you're getting a Latino Joel and not a full-on black one because rumor has it that HBO actually offered Mahershala Ali, who will be playing Blade in Marvel's upcoming Blade film, the role of Joel first, and he said no.
Yeah, he did. He's like, I know what gamers are
Yeah,
like. I don't want that fucking smoke, little racist ass
right.
bastards.
And who's to say that he even knows what The Last of Us was? But I'm sure he looked it up if he didn't and was like, "Oh hell no,
No, I ain't
you're not
about
about to
to.
have my
I ain't about
you're
to
not about to
race
have
swap
my
a video
Twitter or
game
my
character.
email lit up."
Right,
Hell
right.
no.
Hell, not. I don't need it.
And if they would have gone with Mahershala, I'd been
I've been
like, that's
fine.
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I've been
then I
fine with
also would
that.
have been like, oh man, this is gonna suck.
Yeah,
It's
we
gonna
have
suck for
opinions
him
on giving
and
black people work in Hollywood. We are for it, 100%.
right. It's like,
But
why would you make Joel black? First, you spoiler alert for The Last of Us 2. First, you kill him in The Last of Us 2, and then you make him black and effectively kill him again.
first, you make one of those transgenders kill him.
Right,
Yeah, which I mean, obviously Abby's not trans, but I've heard that as like a thing where people were
right.
like, "Woo woo," and it's just like, oh God, why are people so? I get it when you like you lambast somebody and go over the top with them not immediately getting on board with a new concept. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, to bring up Gina Carano, when people had criticized her about not having her pronouns in her Twitter bio, because a lot of people were doing that, I think I eventually did it too. Not because I felt the pressure to, but because
Mm-hmm.
it's a way to support trans people who kind of need our support. Like they're a targeted group, they're a marginalized group. People, they're just now kind of coming into their own and getting their rights sorted out, and people still murder them just for existing. Like that's still a thing
Mm-hmm.
that happens in large parts of the world, including the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's such a small thing for me to be like he, him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
when she was confronted about it, she wrote "beep boop bop" in her Twitter profile.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not funny.
yeah. No, no, she thought it was cute
Oh,
though.
that's that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of the many things that she's done. But
She
just to be
said,
like,
"I am a R2 unit."
yeah, basically. And I mean, it's all well and good. Like people get on people's cases, like, "Oh, it's just jokes. No one should be above being joked about." But it's just like when you joke about someone who's being killed for merely existing the way that they exist, and you constantly mock them, it lends credence to people dehumanizing them. And when you dehumanize a group, it's easier to hurt them. Like that's what it leads to. There's
Hmm.
a path here. I think Yoda
Hmm.
said it best. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to being a douchebag on Twitter. I don't know exactly what the
Right.
quote was, but you know what I'm saying. And she should
Yeah.
have fucking well known better. So that's all I got to say
Yeah.
about that. But no, I'm actually excited. I think Pedro Pascal is a great actor. I love him in The Mandalorian. Even though Wonder Woman 84 was terrible, he was eating up the
Hmm.
scenery in that movie and doing the best he could. He was like, it's good, but it could be better.
Right.
And I was like, yes, this movie could definitely be better, Pedro.
Right.
But no, I think he's great, and he's actually has a lot of range. I could totally see him playing like an old grizzled Texan easily.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think he can pull that off. I'm more worried if Bella Ramsey can really capture Ellie's spirit because she starts off kind of meek and innocent, unsure of herself, and scared, and she only grows into kind of the badass that we see in the sequel over the course of, several hours of gameplay. So we'll have to see kind of what kind of range Bella's going to bring to the role as Ellie. That's what I'm curious to see. So
Yeah, we also don't know the direction that they're gonna go with these characters, so I mean, we'll see. I honestly don't think we need a Last of Us show. I mean, a video game is like the highest point of storytelling and interactivity that you can have, in my opinion. So to then make it a series on HBO, it's like, well, I've already played this game for 40 plus hours and fell in love with these characters and felt their struggles and just went through their whole journey with them. And now I'm just about to go through it again, watching some other people and not interacting with it. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but I'm sure it'll do well and it'll be good. And hopefully we don't get the Game of Thrones treatment, the final season Game of Thrones treatment.
right, we're final few seasons.